Hafaday and good morning, Guam. I'm Rebecca Elmore with PNC, bringing you your morning news first. Thanks for joining us. Topping your news this morning, two different publications are reporting on U.S. military mobilizations near the Korean Peninsula. The International Business Times is reporting that a third aircraft carrier-led strike group is being sent to North Korea. According to the article, the USS Nimitz will join the USS Carl Vinson and USS Ronald Reagan, which are already in the region. Retired UOG professor and former CIA analyst Dr. Michael Stoyle says that there's a better chance that President Trump will launch an attack on North Korea than there is that North Korea will launch an attack on the U.S. The Korean Times is reporting that North Korea is accusing the United States of flying a formation of B-1B strategic bombers from Guam over Korea on Monday to stage a nuclear bomb-dropping drill. According to this report, the B-1B bombers were joined by warplanes from the USS Carl Vinson, and Dr. Stoyle is still hopeful, as he says that if North Korea were to give some form of concession, it would give President Trump a way out of this military stare-down. Meanwhile, the corrections officer who was fired for his involvement in the prison beating of Justin Meno wants to clear his name. Former corrections officer Benjamin Urquizu is a father of 6 and a war veteran. He enforced law enforcement as a corrections officer about 2 years ago because it's what he loves to do. But now, he's jobless. Urquizu is appealing his termination from the force, noting that he did exactly what anyone would have done. The Department of Corrections fired Urquizu earlier this month for failing to follow SOPs and protocol, resulting in the brutal assault of prisoner Justin Meno. But Urquizu wants to clear his name and says it was a chaotic morning inside Post 6 with multiple events happening, being surrounded by some of DOC's worst criminals with no backup or radio to call for help, coupled with the fact that the only thing standing in the way of the 7 inmates in a hogtied and badly beaten Meno was Urquizu. The fired officer says he was fearful that the inmates would take advantage of the situation to attack him next. So instead of sounding off at that very moment, Urquizu says he got himself out of that situation first into a place where it was more secured before notifying another officer. A hearing has been scheduled for today at the Civil Service Commission for Urquizu. Lastly, Senators Fernando Barcinas Esteves and Tommy Morrison have issued statements saying they're both wary and skeptical of Senator Torres's bill to extend legislative terms and creative term limits. Senator Esteves writes that although he liked the idea before the 2016 election, after seeing the massive shakeup in the legislature, with half of the incumbents being voted out, the idea of term limits is a dead issue now. That from Senator Esteves. Senator Morrison wrote that he, quote, can't see how setting legislative term limits does more to encourage greater participation of working families in the policy-making process. You can read more on that at PacificNewsCenter.com, as well as the other stories. And as always, for the full report of all these stories, log on to our website, PacificNewsCenter.com, and don't forget to check out our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a wonderful morning, everyone. We'll see you tonight.